So if we're good to go, then we are good to go. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to season 2021 of Track Stars Racing Series. Alongside me for this special event, of a one-off event, but hopefully we might be able to carry on, maybe some road down the line in the future. We've had a bit of fun, a bit of play around. But joining me in the commentary box is Mr. It's Racing, Yarman Dallas. How you going, buddy? Yep. So yeah, doing well. Just had a happy. Also, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everyone as well before I continue on. So, but hopefully, 2020 is wiped away from our memories, and 2021 we can start off fresh. What do you think? So what we got tonight is we have a MX-5 Cup, where it is the State of Origin series, where we have country or states in Australia such as New South Wales, NSW, Queensland, QLD, South Australia, SA, Victoria, VIC, and then a few other states. But I only think there are only 4 states representing today, and we've got a couple of people repping out other states, even though they were not born in it. That's okay. We can. It's just for a little bit of banter, a little bit of fun. But it's all about the fun, don't you think? Exactly. So looking at the grid, we have 10 drivers that have joined us tonight. So likely-wise, Aker, right behind him is his teammate Wazadon, who will be repping out the season 21 under Shadon Racing. So Shadon Racing has just recently been promoted to the first division of the Track Stars season, where they will be competing in categories such as Group 2 machinery in the touring cars, our 4 Super Formula cars in the SF19 Championship, and also competing in the endurance race, which is a new category that we brought in to Track Stars, where we'll be doing endurance racing, WEC style, LMP1, FGT3 style. Just copying that out, and dividing teams between 7 cars, between 7 LMP1s and probably 8 GT3 cars. My apologies. So hopefully we get a few cars there. So they are definitely one of the contenders for any of those series that I've nominated. Okay, so while our colleague gets his microphone sorted, I'll just run you through some of the drivers that have joined us. Ando 787 is also from New South Wales. He's actually said to us on the Discord, so he's Northern Beaches. So thank goodness that he is locked away and not spreading the COVID around to everyone else. So that's very nice of him to just back away, which is nice. But yeah, he's part of Gridline. He's part of Gridline Racing. But I think for season 21, Jarman, he's actually going to be racing under your banner. It's Racing Esports. How do you think of that? Okay, yep. So we're just waiting for confirmation for Ando, but he reps under the grid line. So if all deals are struck, Ando 787 will be racing on a loan deal with It's Racing to partner It's Racing, who is our series administrator, who is the leading driver, well, not leading driver, but the leading person that actually organizes these events, and always is the lucky one that is putting the stream for all of us to be watching in front of your screens right now. So who else we got in the grid? TCF Old Boy, who's been a regular in the the Track Stars Formula 2 series as well. He's definitely up there in the midfield. He's had some good battles in his couple of races that I've seen him race, and yeah, just a solid contender. Can be a contender for podiums. So keep an eye on him. Whether he joins in for season 2021 is yet to be confirmed. Down below we have Benjo GLR19 repping the Gridline Racing Motorsport team, who will pretty much be the leading pack of Division 2 and the Gridline Racing for TS2 and TSF2, which I think they're going to be fielding 4 cars in that series. That's quite an accomplishment for those guys to possibly be fielding 4 cars. Taking out hang on. Yeah. Hopefully if someone...
Yeah, we'll try that now. Yep, now that's...
It's not working, can you turn it up? Alright, where's your... Well, yours is... there. Okay. Just have a look. So just stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get our coverage underway very shortly. We're just getting through some minor technicalities with streaming and broadcasting with our voices. So once we're all sorted, we should be able to get qualifying underway. Okay. Yep. Yeah. I think if you're doing a mic test, I think the problem is that you can only hear yourself. You can't hear yourself being broadcasted. Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, see how it goes again? Can you see in the mix of today's softball audio is moving?
Oh, I think I heard it. Just talk while they're coming. Yeah, no, it's funny because sometimes you can hear it on the stream, but I think you're talking, but you've like muted me in a way. So it's like you can't hear me, but I can hear you on the stream.
Oh, that's a weird one. Oh, because when I go to the mic test, it shows up. But other than that, on that, I think it's working now.
Oh, actually, now I can hear you. I can hear you perfect. Yeah.
Yep, now that's all good.
Yeah, I think it's working. I think don't touch it. I think it was working. I'm just hearing your voice now.
Alright, looks like coming for years jumped out the room.
Yeah, that's perfect. I can hear you clearly. So if you haven't touched anything, perfect.
Yep, I'll leave it as is.
Yeah, so apologies guys. Just getting our things sorted out, mic settings and all that. But you know, it's always good to do it early, rather than on the first race of the first season of 2021. So that's why we've got events like this, just to do some testing, but also have a bit of fun as well. So as we're about to get qualifying underway, we have, I think, we've got about 10 drivers on the track, which will be really good to see.
Yeah, looking at about 9 or 10.
Yep, about 9, 10 should be alright. But we got a 20-minute session with the MX-5s, touring cars. So these are little fun pocket rockets where they've taken the globe, they've taken everything, taken the category by storm up in the UK. It's a very popular event for up-and-coming drivers, novice drivers, to get their hands on novice racing, or just having a bit of fun, learning racecraft, learning overtaking. As pretty much just equal machinery for everyone, just to get an understanding of how racing works in a way.
Yeah, probably works very much like the Hyundai XLs do in Australia, with sort of an entry-level class, sort of cheap to run, and yeah, very popular as well.
That is true as well. So I think as we're about to get qualifying underway, are we waiting for anybody else?
I think we're waiting on coming for you.
Did you say he was going?
Yeah, he's actually left the room, so
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. Might just double check with him and see if he's returning.
I'll just check on the PlayStation, see if he's actually online or not. Because he probably jumped offline. Yeah, he's jumped offline, so just carry on.
Not a problem. Get this underway then.
Yep. So we got a qualifying or anything?
Yep, a quick 5-minute qualifying.
Alright, so as we get ready for qualifying, 5 minutes to get our powerful MX-5s around this track and see who can get the fastest time. So as we get our qualifying underway for the first time, our State of Origin Series MX-5 Cup. 5-minute qualifying on this Red Bull Ring short layout actually, so this is going to be a quick fiery session. What are we thinking about? I think I was looking at the time, it's about 50 seconds, about sub-minute lap is what you can probably get in these cars.
Yeah, I think we're looking at around a 55-second mark. 54 probably would be an exceptional time. I think one of the drivers did that with a tune on, but then we turned tuning off, so it might have slowed them down a little bit more after that.
Yeah, I can hear that. That's fair enough. So who's leading the way? Wazadon is leading the way. The team manager of Shade On Racing leading the way from New South Wales, as he's coming towards that second last corner of the Red Bull Ring, about to start his flying lap. Equal machinery. Everyone gets equal opportunity to see who's the fastest around this Red Bull Ring short layout. So as we're coming along, Wazadon's about to start his flying lap. As he's coming up towards the hill, flashing the lights as he goes, just for a bit of showboating. Coming up towards the hill, up into turn 1, braking hard, just past the 100-metre board, down to third gear, cutting that corner. Oh, but it runs a bit wide. Runs onto that dirty stuff, so that's going to hamper him as he gets into the next braking zone. He might drag himself a bit wide.
And he's earning himself a penalty here.
Yeah, that's the curse of the penalties. Ladies and gentlemen, where you run a bit wide on this track, you are going to get caught out with a half second. But right behind him, TCF Old Boy 75 is just about to come and set his flying lap behind him. So hopefully Wazadon gets out of the way, which he does perfectly. So our Queensland representative, TCF Old Boy 75, coming towards the second last corner. Oh, he's actually run a bit wide as well, so he might get himself a half second as well. So he runs wide in that last corner. Jeez, 2 drivers, 2 penalties. What's going on here?
I think we've got a curse on them.
It's a bit rusty from everyone.
It's almost like the streamer's curse instead of the commentator's curse. As soon as we follow someone, they run wide and pick up a penalty.
Yeah, exactly right. But so far, it looks like we've got Likely Wise ahead of Little Blacko. Formidable face Little Blacko making his return back to Trackstar. So we could be seeing him in a couple of races, I believe he might be getting himself into the second division Formula Series. So that's going to be very exciting to see if he can actually get himself up the front and getting himself some wins and podiums, just like XX Huso did back in the last season of the Formula 2 Series. So definitely an eye to keep an eye on him as the season goes by, but he's definitely that formidable driver, co-driver for Lurox 22. So where is Lurox on the track now? He probably hasn't set a time yet.
Oh, Ando's gone fastest.
Oh, Ando 787's gone fastest.
Low 54, so I was maybe a little bit off in my estimations.
Oh, that's okay. It's like 54s. So long as under a minute, it's all good.
Yeah.
I think anyone that's getting over a minute, I believe they're on like comfort tires or something. So I don't think they'll be showing any representative times. Looks like everyone's on the pace. So New South Wales is ahead. So we got a New South Wales top 4. So that's actually turned out pretty good. So myself and Spud, definitely, I'm from New South Wales as well, so I'll be cheering on the boys in the top 4, so keep it up there, boys. We're doing very well.
Yeah, unfortunately, my home state of South Australia has the sole representative of Benjo, and he's down in 8th place at the moment, so might have to hope for a lift in performances from him to do the state proud.
Yeah, exactly. Fernando's still ahead. I think we've only got about a couple more laps for everyone to get their flying laps.
Looks like, I'm going to say the first 5 or 6 will probably sneak in an extra lap here.
Yep.
But anyone past that, I think they'll just miss the cutoff.
Okay, yep. I can see that. So Ando 787, repping the 787 number, representing the Boeing 787. So I don't know whether he is a pilot for Qantas. I'm not so sure if he actually does fly a 787. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here by now because he would be traveling all over the world. But with all these restrictions and border closures, I think that's a little bit too hard for him to do. So hoping for him he can actually recover from this and actually get himself back in the air, which would be really nice. Which would be really nice for him because he obviously shows a passion in flying. So
here we go. Looks like Disappointed's going to be the first one to cross the line. Yep, he's locked in.
He's locked in. No more laps for Disappointed. Oh, that's okay. So Disappointed has set himself a 55 flat. So anyone else on a flying lap? Oh, someone's got himself a penalty. Likely Wiseacre, I can see. Little Blacko's going to take in that slipstream. As he's taking that slipstream, he's a bit too close. Will likely Wiseacre get out of his way? He does do a perfect job. So plucking it down the second last corner, coming into that final corner, down into third gear, hard on the accelerator, take that curve perfectly, and full revs onto that straight. As he comes towards the finish line, is he going to get pole position? No, he doesn't. There's a small improvement on his time, but not a really good one. So it will be Ando 787 taking pole position for the inaugural State of Origin Mazda MX-5 Cup. So we've got Ando 787, and likely wise to be partnering him in the front rows, but it's an all New South Wales front 2 rows, so that's a great start for these guys. So they're just thinking, come on, where's the competition? I want a Queens. If this was State of Origin, you know, New South Wales would be belting and smashing Queensland by a fair bit. Four drivers to 2 in the front 4.
So I think we'll have a red flag at this point because Coming For You's just joined in.
Ah, okay. He probably just must have had an issue with his PlayStation. That's all good.
Yeah.
But so there will be a red flag, ladies and gentlemen. So as we're coming up towards, maybe people might practice their starts during the race, maybe get a practice start in just to see how they launch the cars off. Yep, looks like they've done pretty well. And shortly after, they should be exiting the track. Oops, probably no one got your message.
Yeah, I think it happened after qualifying finish, so.
Yeah, that's okay. Yep, so as I can see a few drivers jumping out now, so checking out, beautiful. There we go, so a red flag, a brief pause on this, and we'll hope to bring the coverage back to you guys very shortly, but for the meantime, we got to get all of our drivers in. We've got another, well, actually we do have another Queenslander incoming for you, so he is an actual Queenslander. So it will be four New South Welshmen against 3 Queenslanders. So a little bit, so just slowly trying to even up. Maybe there could have been a sneaky driver that could have said, I'm going to rep for Queensland and be 4v4.
Yeah, or maybe one jumps over to South Australia and gives them 2.
Don't get cheeky on yourself. It's, I know you want a couple of representatives for your state, but come on.
I'm just trying to even up the numbers here.
That's all good. So yeah, so anyway, as we were saying, so Little Blacko is definitely been a long-term driver for this season. So he's been promoted to, or he's been put down into the co-driver role for the season 2021 in the Track Stars touring cars, and dropping himself into Division 2. So that way he can get himself at least a bit of racing under his belt for the season before it jumps into the Nissan partnering Lurox 22. So hopefully there's not much rust in him, but I think you knowing Little Blacko, it's you definitely know he's not a slouch in the park. He can pick up a car, grab a car, and just go.
Yeah, he'll definitely jump right in. Probably get plenty of practice time in the meantime in that Nissan, and yeah, he'll be on the pace once it comes to the endurance races.
Yeah, I believe so. So there'll be a lot of formidable drivers. So in our main series we do have 7 teams joining us for the season. 7 teams, 14 drivers will be entering our Division 1 touring car season, where we have the top 3 factory teams. It's Racing Esports will be repping under the Honda banner. Robo Sports Racing will be repping themselves in the Nissan banner, and Mash Buds Racing will be repping the Lexus colours, the Lexus brand of the season. So as we get our race underway, we're going to take a brief pause, and we'll come to the grid once we are ready to go. So then the pop-up lights are flashing. Don't we love pop-up headlamps? So the lights are flashing. Ando 787, Likely Wiseacre, front 2 with Little Blacko and Wasadon, completing a top 4 New South Wales whitewash. So who's going to be leading into that first corner as we get ready for the lights? 3, 2, 1. It's lights out, green flag, racing. Here we go. Ando 787 gets a good launch, but Likely Wise is going to be pulling up alongside him as we're coming up into turn 1, as they're plucking up the gears up towards the hill, braking hard. It is Likely Wise that takes the lead off Ando 787, but he's not giving up. He's going side by side with these little cars. You can go side by side and you can get all, but he's got himself a penalty, which is definitely not what you want on your first lap. As we've got Little Blacko actually making that move, and as Wasadon as well, and then a Victoria representative. Who is that? That is a Lurox 22 that is getting himself up into the mix for Victoria. So we've got ourselves a New South Wales top 3, actually top 4, because Ando's managed to get the power down, but Lurox going to make that move coming into the second last corner. He does, but who is it? We've got Likely Wise and Little Blacko front 2 leading the way for New South Wales ahead of Wasadon and Ando 787.
Yeah, it's a very good start from Likely Wiseacre. He's kept it very clean and avoided those penalties, but he's got Little Blacko right on his tail here, so we'll have to be very careful that he doesn't open himself up to an overtake. But it's looking like a very familiar scene from the Track Stars Formula 2 Championship, isn't that right?
Exactly. It's always Likely Wiseacre up leading the way, but Little Blacko, as we've mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he's definitely no slouch in the park. He is a formidable face in the Track Stars series, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on, and he'll definitely be putting the pressure on the new and upcoming driver in Likely Wiseacre.
Yeah, he's definitely proven himself, and he was very much a championship contender in the Trackstars Touring Car Series last year until he missed a few rounds, which then definitely really took him out of contention. Probably
Oh, but as he's coming up towards the first corner, will Little Blacko make that move? I don't think so. He doesn't have. Oh, he's actually going to make that move stick. What a lovely move, but likewise has got the switchback on Little Blacko side by side as they're coming through. Has anyone got a penalty after that? No, they haven't. Little Blacko just went a little bit too deep on Likewise, but Likewise retakes that first position. It's only been 3 minutes into the racing, but we've got some great action here in this Mazda MX-5 Cup that we've got going on. As we look down behind, Wazadon and Ando 787 reliving their past battles in the Trackstars Formula 2 series, going side by side and fighting hard, while Lurox is just in the background, lurking behind, just thinking, well, you two New South Wales from barge heads, and I'm going to take Victoria up towards the podium.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to be careful that they don't beat up on each other too much, as you sort of saw in those like Rosberg and Hamilton days. If they take each other out, there will be a couple of Victorians sitting there in the wings waiting to pounce.
That's right. Coming back into 2016, and at this exact track where it was a final lap where Hamilton and Rosberg was leading the way, and Hamilton just had that extra bit of grip on his tyres, and all it took was just one small mistake that Rosberg made on a corner, and the other car just pounced. And in that day, almost Max Verstappen won that race because the Mercedes took each other out. So hopefully that doesn't happen between the New South Welshmen, because they have to work together to keep themselves up front. But we've still got Likewise Acre holding off Little Blacko in a courageous effort. So Little Blacko definitely not giving him any space of comfort. But is he actually going to go side by side? Is he? Or he must.
Yeah, there's side by side.
Still side by side. Can Little Blacko pull it up straight? Yes, he can, and there's no chance of a switchback. So well done, Little Blacko. He takes the race lead coming into the second corner of this Red Bull ring. But Lurox 22 looks like it's just made himself a move there. So wonderful move by Lurox 22, splitting the New South Wales top four. So he's put himself up into 4th place for Victoria. So a great job on Victoria for Victoria. So down the order, we also have Disappointed. So he's just watching from behind, just watching all these guys have a bit of a hit and barge session before he says, it's my turn to have a go to be in this battle.
Well, it looks like he has a few penalties to burn in the process.
Oof, yeah, he does actually. So I think thankfully in this series we don't have our burning penalty system, so I think it's just for a bit of fun, just you can stack up as many penalties as you want.
Are they free wide up the front?
I see, I just see 3 wide up there, Jarman. That's just unbelievable. Can we just catch a replay of that, because that was just amazing. I have no idea how many people were making a move on that. That was absolutely stunning.
Okay, wow, we've gone really far back on this one.
It's all in the...
Don't think we meant to go this far back.
Well, as we look at the replay of the race start, I think what we definitely saw was Ando 787 getting a good jump ahead of Likewise Acre. Oh, but what have we got? We come back onto coverage, live footage, top 4 New South Wales cars battling it out onto the pitch straight. Are we going to see another 3 wide here? Will Ando actually make a 3 wide between himself and Little Blacko and Wazadon?
Looks like Ando's started to push away a fair bit, but it's definitely on between, I'll call it this, 4 or 5 between 2nd and 6th.
Oh, okay,
it's definitely...
Oh, but are we going 3 wide into turn 2? Is that going to be possible? Surely not. No, they've actually held that pretty clean.
Yeah, they've sorted themselves out there very well. This is very reminiscent of that first race of the Porsche Cup finale. I think you were off in front, and there was a very nice battle from about 2nd to 7th.
Yeah, I think in that if we're talking about the St. Croix B racing, that was really good. Where we went from, I was in 1st position, or myself and Lurox were in 1st position, all the way down to I believe 7th or 8th, just top 8 cars just covered by next to nothing. And that race was just totally insane, clean racing, and we have that battle. But we can see Disappointed actually making a move on Lurox 22. He's made that move stick, beautiful stuff. But likely Wiseacre has picked himself a bit of a penalty. So I think Disappointed's actually done pretty well. He's actually birdied his penalties off very strategically, and he's actually put himself up in a very handy position. But he's going to go around the outside, is he? No, can't hold it quite there. But he's put himself into pretty good contention up there.
Yeah, he's definitely got himself on the draft of Likely Wiseacre, so it'll be very interesting coming down the turn 1 actually to see what kind of a move he pulls and how he sets himself up.
As we're looking down the grid, we have Coming For You down in 7th, followed by Benjo GLR 19, and I believe probably rounding at the back, I believe it is TCF Old Boy 75. So those boys will be in a little bit of a battle of their own. Watching, they probably would have loved to have been on the sideline, being like, this race is pretty hectic. I want to watch this, or I want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
so
they might have to drive a bit harder and get themselves up there actually.
Exactly. So Likely Wise is actually moves himself up into 3rd position.
There was a big slide there coming through turn 3. That was very interesting to watch. He still kept his momentum up though.
Yep, I can see that as well. And we've got Ando 787 leading away from Little Blacko. So Little Blacko is still staying in his favourite position, in 2nd position. He definitely does not want to be there. If Ando pulls away and Little Blacko just stays with him, they can actually work together, tag team together, and just pull away from each other.
Yeah,
but
it looks
Ando,
like Ando's built a bit of a gap here.
Okay, so we've actually called that off. I thought they were actually a little bit closer, but Ando's actually...
It's out to 2 seconds at the moment.
That's alright, that's pretty good. So, do we have any pit stops in this race?
No, I didn't have any pit stops, so this will be a straight out sprint.
A straight out sprint, 20 minute sprint. We were on lap 10. We only got just a bit over 11 minutes to go, so we're probably going to get ourselves another 10 to 11 laps of exciting racing here, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got Wazadon actually has dropped himself down into 6th place, so he's had a little bit of an off somewhere, or just maybe picked himself up some penalties, just tried to burn them off. I can see Disappointed and Lurox are working together, even though Disappointed is not from Victoria, but he's repping the Victoria flag, Victoria team, and he's just saying to Lurox, come on, let's work together, let's get Victoria 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, they're certainly working together. Well, for now they are. It looks like Lurox has gone diving down the inside at turn 1, so maybe we spoke too soon on that one.
A deep dive into turn 1, just get him running himself a bit wide. So it's actually strange he didn't get himself a penalty for that. Oh, actually no, he did.
Yeah, I think he might have.
Yeah, he did.
Wazadon's taken the opportunity to jump up into 5th place as well.
Yep. I do believe I see a Coming For You lurking in the background as well. So he's actually closed the gap. So what Coming For You 194 is our driver for Mash Spuds Racing. So he'll be trying to rep Queensland and also the team that he drives for season 2021. So putting on a great performance for his team, and hopefully he can actually get himself up in at least into the top 5. Otherwise, the 7th place won't be a bad result for him. But as we're looking up further towards the grid, we can see in 4th place Lurox 2022 holding off a charging Wazadon, but Disappointed looks like he's going to make the move onto the inside. He does very cleanly. Hopefully he keeps that stick as we cut off. Yep, beautiful stuff. So I think all this battling it's just promoted Coming For You just to get himself into a rhythm and then just work on some clean laps and catch up to these guys.
It's certainly looking like he's slowly closing them in bit by bit.
So we've got about 9 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. 9 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going for some enthralling racing that we've got ourselves here. We've got Ando 787 leading the way, so he's put himself a really good gap between himself and Little Blacko from what I can see on the track map, but ahead of him it is Likely Wiseacre. So it's still a top 3 New South Wales State of Origin series. So they're putting themselves up in a great position, but looks like Little Blacko has got himself a little bit of trouble there with his penalties, and Likely Wise behind him, so he doesn't want that. He's trying to say, come on, let's work together. Let's keep New South Wales up in the top 3. But I think Likely Wise is saying, no, I'm in the big leagues. I want to show off to everyone how good I am.
Yeah, he's certainly shown himself to be very formidable, especially up against Little Blacko. And I mean, he put in some really good performances in the Porsche Cup towards the end as well.
Exactly right, but as he's coming up, he's making an easy move on Little Blacko's simple slipstream, pluck it up into 5th gear, braking just past the 100-metre board and down into 3rd. Makes the move stick, lovely move. So hopefully they work together, but I believe it's a little bit too little too late for Ando 787. What is that? Can I see 6 seconds? Is that?
Yeah,
Five,
it's 5.6.
5.6 seconds between Ando and Likely Wise, so Ando's just run away. He's definitely using his strong internet connection to good use. Lucky. But as we go, Ando 787 leading the way with Likely Wise, Acre in 2nd, with Little Blacko still hot on his tails, not letting off for a 2nd position. We've got ourselves, which is probably the battle of which is pretty much the closest battle that we could see. Is only between Lurox, Wazadon, and Disappointed, but coming for you again, he's still closing in, he's still keeping that gap. But I just don't think it's enough for him to get a top 5, so I think he's just going to sit back, he's going to try his best to push the car and just get as close as he can. Hopefully the guys ahead rack up some more penalties, so then that way you can catch up. Lurox is about to make that move on Disappointed, coming in towards turn 2, beautiful. As we see down towards the back, we have TCF Old Boy 75 in a lonely 8th position, while we have the sole South Australian. So unfortunately for you, Jarman, it's not working out for your state.
No, definitely not.
Down in 9th place.
And I think he's just gone a lap down as well.
Has he got a lap down as well? So that's that's a bit of an unfortunate thing, but that's okay. At least he's been overtaken by his team, by his Gridline Racing teammate.
Yeah.
And 787. So
that'll be promising for the Gridline team at least.
Exactly right. So long as they don't bump heads or clash on track, at least they have that healthy relationship, those two boys. So I think from what I would have seen, he would have just let him on by on the straight, and off you go. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, and at this stage, Ando's certainly shown his talent that, well, I've seen through the Gridline Exhibition Series, and maybe he struggled a little bit through probably the Porsche Cup, and then a little bit in the Formula Trackstar Series to show that, but I think we're starting to see glimpses of what he definitely can do on the track.
He showed himself, he definitely put a good showing in the Formula 2 series. I think what I can recall was some of the great battles he had. Laguna Seca against Red R&R Machine, who was the Brit. Between him and Red R&R was a great battle at Laguna Seca. And then the last one I can remember as well was around Fuji, between him, Xylon 96 and XX Huzo 16. They definitely, so he's definitely got the pace to run and have some great battles, but like you said, I believe this is definitely a turning curve for him to actually improve himself and actually make himself probably one of the front contenders if he commits to a whole season.
Yeah, I definitely think if he runs full time with us, he'll certainly be one to look out for, and he may even contend for race wins. Exactly,
so it's all about that, getting that tunes perfect to perfection. So hopefully for him, he's got himself a good mentor in its racing. So hopefully those two can work together and get some good tunes in their cars and boost them up towards the front. But as we're looking down, we've got still Likely Wise ahead of Little Blacko. So Little Blacko just dropping off the pace a little bit now, just making few little mistakes here and there, but just racking up some penalties as well. Who else we've got? We've got Wazadon back up into 4th position ahead of Disappointed.
He's put a little bit of a gap on them as well too.
Yes, I think that's pretty much just like done and dusted, because I think we had some close battles between them, but actually all I can see is actually coming for you is actually right on the back of Lurox 22 from what I can see.
Yeah, maybe he's held on to a late charge or something along those lines.
Exactly, he's actually putting himself in great contention as he makes a move, not quite into that second corner. Oof. But he's scared Lurox there, making himself run a bit wide, but Lurox again runs wide into that corner. So he's just going to have some dirty tyres coming onto the first corner, so hopefully he shakes that off and can get himself a good grip into turn 1.
Yeah, this looks probably at this stage looks like the closest battle we've got, as we're just coming to 3 minutes remaining in this race. So definitely something to salvage a bit of pride for the Queensland team.
Exactly.
Ooh,
Oh, he makes a
very
move
close move there.
that was a very close move coming for you. It's a good job. They're putting the pressure on him. He's just saying, I'm here. I definitely want to get that 5th position. It's only 2.5 minutes to go, but I'm definitely aiming for that 5th as he goes side by side with Lurox. Is he going to make a move around the outside of Lurox 22? I believe so, because Lurox decided to burn his penalty off there, so very smart thinking. So all he has now is he has Disappointed ahead of him, and he's got himself a top 5 for Queensland. So he won't. So there'll still be a bit of Queensland pride in that top 5, even though it's a top 4 in New South Wales. So he'll get himself a good pat on the back for Queensland if he gets himself up into 5th place.
Yeah, the only thing you have to watch for is those penalties.
Yeah,
you'll have to burn them before the end of the race, and also try and stay ahead of these two guys.
Exactly right. So we've got less than 10 minutes to go. We've still got Ando 707 just marching away, pulling away from Likely Wise Acre, which is a huge gap. I can't believe how much they've actually put on. Because I think it was only like a few minutes ago, but it looks like, oops, did someone go wide there? Was that Ando go wide into that corner? I thought I saw someone. Maybe it was a bit of lag, I'm not sure. But Little Blacko's actually got a handful with Wazadon side by side on that last corner. Ooh, keep it together, boys. You've got a raging Victorian and Queenslander behind you, so just take it easy. Keep it a top 4.
Yeah, they'll be very much wanting to hold on to this 1, 2, 3, 4 they've got going on, but obviously there's a bit of individual pride to
exactly right. I was just about
scores
to say
settle.
Exactly right. Individual pride, showing off their teams and showing off their team names and saying, I represent this team and this is what to expect from us in season 2021. So only 55 seconds to go. Can Wazadon actually make a move for the podium position, as Little Blacker goes very defensive on the inside, but actually Wazadon's going to hold around the outside, is he? Oh, he's going to make it stick. No, he's not. Disappointed's right behind him, so there's got at least one more lap to go, ladies and gentlemen, for these guys. Ando 787 pulling away, but we've got Little Blacko and Wazadon fighting for 3rd position. Is that Wazadon on the inside? It is. It's a great move for Wazadon for the switchback. Disappointed's just right behind him, and I can see behind coming for you is making a move on Little Lurox 22 there as well. So Wazadon has actually gone ahead of Little Blacko there, so Disappointed's not too far away.
Yes, this is definitely shaping up a very close battle.
It's a switchback using the ghosting to its effectiveness, and Little Black has just put himself through. As we cut towards the leader, it's coming towards that final corner. We have Ando 787 repping New South Wales, taking the victory in the inaugural race of states, a state of origin Mazda Cup season. We have Likely Wise Acre just going to slow down, burn his penalties off. No, he doesn't, but who takes 3rd position? Oh, it's a little move. It's still Wise Acre. Is he actually going to get Little Blacko? Actually, Wazadon makes the move, and he gets 3rd position on the last corner. Typical Mark Marquez and Duviertioso in that last corner. Wonderful stuff, Wazadon. Take it, bow, son. Ahead of Little Blacko and Disappointed. Whoa, that was a great move. That definitely reminded me of the MotoGP days between Marquez and Dovi. What a great start. What a great start to the evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if the rest of the night turns out like that, we're definitely in for some very exciting racing.
Exactly, and as TCF Old Boy rounds that final corner and takes the checkered flag, it is Ando 787 for New South Wales taking the victory. Ando 787 repping for New South Wales, our Track Stars Series Mazda Cup Race of States has been won and done by Ando 787. A grid line racing, so that is a grid line racing victory for those guys, so hats off to them. Ahead of Likely Wise Acre and Wazadon, who put in a great performance to make a last second move on Little Blacko there, so that was a great thing to watch. Great thing of beauty to actually have that that last corner battle, don't you think?
Sure, it certainly kept the final result very undecided right up until the finish line, especially for that last podium position.
Exactly right. So hopefully that's something we get to. That's a little taste of what we get to see in season 2, in season 2021 of Track Stars. So as we take a little break from the coverage, we're going to be getting ourselves sorted so we can get ourselves ready for underway for race 2, our GT3 Cup. Any manufacturer guys want to represent, they can take them out on track and they can show off and they can show off and see how fast they are. So do you mute? Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see your thing coming. Did you mute the stream or? All right, it's all good. Yep, that's all good. Oh, and I got to do an interview. Okay. Oh, sure. I'll just type on the Discord. Okay.
Hey guys, can you hear me? And Odie.
Oh, hello, Andy. Can hear you loud and clear. Hopefully, we can pick you up on the stream. But I think going from the um, last time we did an interview, I think it actually worked out all right.
Yeah, I'm just using my iPad, so I don't know what the sound quality is like, but
Yeah, it should be fine. I think if it's going through Discord, you should be able to hear everyone on there. But maybe Jarman can let us know when he pops off. So yeah, so we've just had our inaugural race of states. So congratulations, Ando, for that. That was some hectic battles there in those first few laps. So talk me through it from your point of view.
yeah, thank you very much. It's like first couple of laps just to get settled down. I dropped back a little bit, I think, but then I felt like I found the overtake button or something. Ironically, I normally always forget it in the super formulas, but I just found my groove, I think, and was able to make. I had one lap there, I think, where I gained 4 spots or something.
Yeah, because those.
Run on people, yeah.
Yeah, because I definitely, because me, like, also drive, like, I love driving the MX-5. They're just such great cars, like, to get the power down. You know that rear wing can actually just push that butt to the ground and you can just floor it, like, even when you're at the beginning of the corner and you know that it's going to point straight. It's not going to be tail happy. It's not going to slide around.
Yeah,
So hence why there was a lot of close battling there. So you did pretty well to hold off like the likes of Little Blacko and Likely Wise and Wazadon. So it's definitely a good start.
The race really came to me. I think I got a little break after 2 or 3 laps, and then they ended up battling, which let me run away with it. So I was a bit lucky. But yeah, that little Mazda really handles well, and it's about getting a flow with it. I think it can carry so much more corner speed than you think it can. So
yeah,
you just got to trust it and get into a groove with it, and then it just goes pretty beautiful. It's a really nice car to drive.
Yeah, because I think that's what we also see. You know, people just jumping in and out of lobbies and just having a bit of fun, testing out new cars, just bringing them into series, just like ours. And hopefully, you know, we say, you know, that this is the right car that we can bring. You know, this is a car that we can bring and introduce into our series, just for a little bit of a fun run. But speaking of fun runs, yourself and your group at Gridline Racing is holding exhibition race with the Nissan. So do you know much information about that? If so, talk us through it.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. It's based around the GTRs, so the GR4, GR3, GR2 variants, maybe even a street car variant of it, I think. So it's a single make series, but each week it's in a different class of the one theme, the GTR. So it looks like fun. There's going to be some variables thrown in, i.e. tyre wear and fuel to manage. So it'll
Yeah,
be a bit of a strategy.
I have definitely noticed myself that the tyre, when I first saw the tyre wear allocation, I thought, wow, that's very, very extreme. But I think that's for a good reason. Strategy, close racing, and
we've done some
and fun, just like what you guys
also,
represent.
but also we're trying to fine tune the tyre and fuel particularly, so that more than one strategy will likely be superior. So you'll have people on different strategies coming together at the end and hopefully battling it out for the win. So yeah, there's going to be quite a few variables in there. So something different. Might be something entertaining to watch or take part in. We'll see.
Yeah, I can see that. So also, so you've represented New South Wales there for your team. So we know that you are from the Northern Beaches. So how was your rather eventful, quiet Christmas and New Year's up on your end?
Yeah, it was. It was quiet is the operative word. We were just locked down, so I got to spend it with my kids. So that was good. But a funny Christmas for me because I was meant to be away for work, and that got all way late because of where I live. So it was a bit of a funny Christmas for me.
Yeah, and hopefully, your area gets to open up as soon as possible, so that way at least those case numbers can go down and we can all travel to Sydney safely without having to worry, because it only was a span of, a week, where 1 week it was absolutely fine, and then the next week just the numbers started appearing out of nowhere in your neck of the woods.
Lost you there, but yeah, little spike, so hopefully it's under control. I think it was only 8 cases today in all of New South Wales, so there's some good signs there. Hopefully we'll with mandatory mask wearing and whatnot, be able to just squash it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think something that they've introduced with the mask wearing and just looking after and just protecting everyone is definitely a step in the right direction, I believe. I kind of knew they should have brought that in a lot earlier, sooner than later, but you can't predict what the government wants to do, so it's better not to talk about politics online. We just
that's right. But the people where I live have been pretty good with it anyway, so the mask wearing has been fairly widespread anyway.
Oh, that's good then. Yeah, that's definitely good news. So anyway, going back to your Nissan GT Cup series. So where can our viewers find more information about it?
Go to find Gridline Racing on Facebook, and you should be able to, if you like and follow the page we've got there, find all the info you need.
Yeah,
I think registrations and quali laps have to be submitted by the 8th, I think, so it's not far away. But you basically have to do a lap around Interlagos in the circuit experience part of the game, and take a screenshot of your time, or a photo of your time, and then post it on the Facebook, the relevant post that's already up there on our Facebook page.
And I bet you'd be kicking yourself that I actually beat your time up at Interlagos as well.
Yeah. I knew someone would. I was just happy to get a 52 though.
Yeah, no, it was
Scotty
good.
said it's got rounded up by his spreadsheet to a 53, and I said, no, I'm going to try again.
Yeah, no, it was good. It's like, because I think initially I said a 34, but that was like basically when I bought the game. So the day I bought the game to about now, I've definitely improved on my pace. So it's all about, just going back on the circuit experience, and it really helps out for everyone. If you're uncertain of what GT3 car you want to drive in the FIAs or any series, you just jump on there and have a bit of a feel around.
You can load a ghost, so there's nothing like chasing your ghost around the track over
Exactly
and over
right.
and over again to get that last 10th out of it that you've got to do.
Exactly
so
right.
I find it a really good training tool.
Yeah. That's good. I think hopefully you guys make that series very successful, and hopefully some people get to participate. And from what I'm hearing, you have 3 lobbies. Looks like you might have both 3 lobbies, so that's great.
There's been some good interest so far, but as you know, registrations and actual participation are a different thing. So
exactly.
We'll just see how it goes, and hopefully we can get 2 or 3 lobbies fairly consistently running,
Exactly.
and you don't want a lobby with only 3 or 4 people in it. So hopefully we'll get good participation as well as the initial interest that's been shown already.
Exactly. So, and just to round up, just before we let you get some practice on track. So looking forward to 2021 season 2021 in Trackstars Racing Series. How are you looking forward? So have you? We believe you have actually had an offer for to drive alongside It's Racing in the main division. What are your options? What have you got there for
Yeah,
season 2021?
unfortunately, I'm already committed to another league on Sunday nights, and the lobby times just came out, and unfortunately they clashed. So it looks like I'm probably just going to be a reserve driver in Trackstars this year, unfortunately.
Okay.
But that was just a unfortunate scheduling clash for me with
Yeah.
another league that I'm already fairly heavily involved in and committed to. So wasn't
Yep.
much we could do about that.
Nah, that's okay. So hopefully, at least you might be able to jump in and do some of those endurance racing leagues, with Gridline, and maybe jump in those LMP ones
Yep,
or GT3 cars. Maybe
yep, absolutely.
definitely jump in and do some endurance racing, like the Enduro Cup in the Group 2s.
Yep.
What else? I believe as well, you might even get yourself in those Porsche Cup on the Thursday nights. We've got our
Oh
Thursday
yeah,
night.
I'm keen for anything else that's on another night of the week, definitely. So
Yeah. Well, at
yep.
least, yeah. One of the other things we have is our production cars, our touring car masters, and our Porsche Cup series on Thursday nights. So hopefully, we get to see at least a few good numbers from the community just to jump on board, and definitely everyone will be on board for the Porsche Cup because that proved to be a hit for everyone in the
Yeah.
track cars community.
Oh,
So
sounds good. I had a ball in Track Stars last season, and if you want to race fast guys, Track Stars is the place to be. That's for sure. So I'll be there in whatever form I can to test myself against you quick guys.
exactly. It's a shame that we're going to lose you, but hopefully we get to see you around a lot more than not too little. So good. So all the best with your future events and future races that you've got coming up for season 2021. But if we do see you on Trackstars, we hope to see you pretty much up towards the front of the field. So
Yeah, thanks, mate.
we
I'll give
we
it a crack. Yes.
we definitely know you're no slouch in the park and you're no slow driver. So anytime you jump in, you're definitely going to be up the front.
Yeah, well, watch for me in your mirrors, mate.
Exactly. Righto, mate. Have a good evening. Or good luck on track tonight. So there we go. Ando's 787 Gridline Racing. It's all but confirmed that he is going to be a reserve driver for our Trackstar series. So it is a little bit of a loss there, Jarman. But obviously when drivers have their commitments and they have some plans, you don't want to really interfere them as much as you want to persuade them to get them in and hopefully commit to this series. There's not much you can do. You can't say to them, drive for us because we picked you up first. You want to be friendly. You want to do it in a friendly manner. And just say, we respect your decisions, and hopefully we get to see you on track very soon.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, definitely would have been great to have Ando in a full-time capacity, but
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I believe he definitely would have been a great driver for at least for in the Group 2s because he showed obviously a lot of pace in the Porsches and the SF19s, but it is what it is, and we just got to move on. So we're still going to have 14 drivers in our main division, which will be a bonus. Will be another bonus.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, there's certainly a bunch of drivers that probably haven't picked up a ride yet that are very much options that can earn themselves a spot.
Well, even looking on here, we have drivers even like TCF Oldboy. I believe he's definitely proved to be. He's definitely like a midfield driver, but he could probably play that Bottas role if needed, and if they need a second driver, if he needs to help out a second driver, then by all means. But even guys like I'm pretty sure even if some drivers are confused, most drivers have a big pool of reserves and second division drivers like my team, Mashbuzz Racing, and looks like Robo Sports as well. They've got themselves a good mix of reserve drivers just in case one of them can't make it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, there's plenty of teams out there that have sort of got themselves lined up that for any eventualities that they're all covered and they can field 2 cars every week.
Yeah, exactly. So at least, at least if everyone gets 2 cars, I think that'll definitely be a positive for the stream and for the season 2021, where we are actually being sponsored for the first time, Jarman. EBM, Elite Brake and Mechanical, down in Victoria. So a very small company, and a friend of ours, Robbo Sport, actually has some great contacts with these guys down on Elite Brake and Mechanical, where they actually raced in Trailblazers, and they sponsored a few racing series here and there. They actually also sponsored SLM, I think, in their early days of their racing leagues, and looks like now they've jumped ship and they've jumped towards Trackstars. So it's an extra bonus for all of us here at Trackstars to be officially sponsored by at least a up and coming company.
Yeah, no, they've been very, I'll say, probably helpful to us throughout probably the last 3-4 months, especially with the Bathurst coverage. They jumped in and sponsored the driver of the day for the Bathurst event, which ended up going to Speedy Tyres, who probably, you'd nearly say that he single-handedly dragged that car to the win. Although
Exactly.
Brandosa did put in some very solid performances to set him up as well.
Exactly right. Yeah, because you look at drivers like, well, you look at the pairings that they have EBM Mitch, they have EBM Brandosa, who looks like to be their leading driver for EBM Motorsport. And we also have Xiaomi 5, who's taking the big step from second division to first division. So definitely no slow drivers in that camp. So they'll definitely be keeping an eye to. Sorry. There'll definitely be one looking forward to in season 2021 for a sneaky podium or a top 5.
Yeah, I mean, Xiaomi definitely put in some great performances in the elite class of the Porsche Cup, but he'll definitely slot in very handily into the main division and certainly won't disgrace himself, I can say that.
Well, he is our series champ in the elite class in the Porsche, so it's definitely a positive for EBM to actually at least have 2 trophies basically under their belts. So as we're getting ourselves underway, I've just seen disappointed right in the chat, and me too, moving up to first class. Haha, yes, you are. He is. We actually have a second team in pit lane racing, but I'll get to that in a minute because we're just about to start our race for the GT3 Cup. So striking Group 3 cars on the grid, we can see, but it is Ando 787 up at the front with Likewise Acre down in second position, with Wazadon in third and Little Blacko, disappointed actually, in fourth position.
Certainly got a variety of cars on the grid for this one.
Exactly right, there's no favouritism and it's underway. Green flag racing, and Likewise has got himself a perfect start off in that Merc AMG GTR. So as they come in towards that first corner, Ando 787 is right down in second position, with Wazadon in third position in his Pro Cup Porsche. So he's actually still repping out the colours of the Porsche Cup Series, but Ando's actually making a move around the outside of Likewise Acre, braking towards turn 2. Who's going to come in towards Griffin? It is Likewise, and pushing Ando wide, fairly and squarely into that corner. And we have Wazadon, who's actually dropped down to fourth there. I believe in third is coming for you, so he's actually come up really far down. But he's got a little bit of a push there from Wazadon, so not so fair on that, but that's all good. It's just a friendly banter race with Benjo forming a train in his Jaguar F-Type. He's actually hit the wall there, disappointed, and Lural Black have come through with Lurox 22 in that big V10 Dodge Viper down in 7th position. So, frantic start.
Yeah, it's certainly as they're coming down through the S's and down into Forest Elbow, it's starting to bunch back up again. I think the field is sort of, yeah, they've all formed a train, so maybe look for guys like Little Blacko to be very much a contender along with Lurox, and they may claw their way through the field in this race.
Exactly right. We've got Little Lurox down in 7th position, and 8th position we have Benjo GLR, but leading the way, likely Wise Acre in the plain stock AMG GT3, leading the way coming towards Murray's Corner to complete the end of the first lap here at Mount Panorama Bathurst. The glorious home advantage for all of these drivers here in the lobby tonight. As we commence lap 2, likely Wise coming through to Hell Corner up towards Mountain Straight, leading the way from Ando 7870 is that Aston Martin V12 Vantage Gridline Racing represents. Coming for you, 194 has actually come up through the field. I believe he's gained at least 3 or 4 positions from the start, so a great showing from him in that McLaren F1, which has a glorious, beautiful sound. As we keep our mouth shut, we get to hear that engine come through. Oh, glorious sound that is. So coming up towards the cutting, it is actually get himself Wazadon actually having a little sniff there at Coming For You, but there's no, pretty much up from here, from the cutting all the way down to Forest Elbow, there's no really overtaking opportunities, is there?
No, it's very much one lane traffic from basically the cutting all the way to the
skyline. Maybe
skyline.
Wazadon's going to make a move around to the inside, and he actually does. Looks like Coming For You's just dragged himself a bit wide, got a little bit scared there, thinking that Wazadon was going to push him off. But Wazadon proving my point wrong, actually making a move up at McPhillamy Park. What a lovely move he's made, and Disappointed is right behind him in that Hyundai Genesis Group 3 car.
It was a very adventurous move from Wazadon, but he certainly pulled it
Made
off
that
very
stick.
cleanly, so
Exactly.
fair play to him, and all the credit as well for having the bravery to pull that move off as well.
Exactly right, and Disappointed looks like he's going to make that move on Wazadon. The Porsche's lacking a little bit of straight line speed compared to the Hyundai, but he's still holding on in side by side coming towards the chase. Is Disappointed going to get ahead of him? Yes, he does. He's got better brakes, that Disappointed, the Hyundai Genesis, so it looks like it's going to be a Hyundai Disappointed in 3rd position with Wazadon in 4th. Coming For You after that little moment that he had up at the top of the hill is down in 5th, but he's not going to be backing down with a fight. Lurox 2022 is right behind him. I say 2022. Whoops.
Yeah.
Lurox 2020. Lurox 22 is down in 6th position with a newcomer to the track, who is actually kind of he appears every now and then. Is actually Deadpool 23. So he's definitely showed his face around track styles, and he has showed him a bit of quick driving. The Porsche Cup, he's definitely showed his pace up with the front guys in the pro class. So whether this is just a one-off or someone can lure him into saying, hey, you know, you're showing up for good performance, why don't you join my team for season 2021?
Yeah, I mean, he joined us for the Porsche Cup races at Laguna Seca, and although he showed very quick one-lap pace, and I think he took pole position actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it was a top 2, top 3. Oh, I actually saw a move. Was that little Lurox 2022 making a move on Coming For You? I believe so, because I don't see it Coming For You. If we can get a replay of that,
he's run off the track there.
I believe if we get a replay, we can actually get to see little Coming For You actually making a mistake there and getting pushed
wide.
It's
gone back to the start again. What's going on tonight, Gran Turismo?
Are you pressing the wrong keys or something?
No, I'm pressing the right keys and it's going to... Here we go.
That's all good.
I think I've worked it out now, but yep.
Alright,
I think I've figured out my mistakes.
Okay, you forgot. You press Z instead of X. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
We all make that mistake on computers.
Yep. I'll work it out next time.
That's all good. So it doesn't look like there's any moves at the moment, but it looks like there is one formidable face up at the front. Likely Wise Acre leading the way coming up towards Mountain Straight ahead of Ando 787.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to get one back on Ando for the MX-5 race, so...
Yeah, exactly. I think...
But it's still a long way to go.
Long way to go. We've only even done like 4 laps around here, so there's plenty of time to go around. So only 33 minutes to go. Plenty of time for drivers to settle in, get into a rhythm. There's no pit stop strategies here, so it's just all flat out racing. So hopefully for the guys, you know, just get a rhythm with their cars and just learn about it, learn how they move around certain parts of the corners of the track.
Looks like Lurox is right on the tail of Wazadon now that he's been released from coming for you.
Yep, I can see that. Lurox is about to make a move. Oh, he's close to making a move.
Definitely a very brave spot to make a move there.
Yeah, we're actually seeing quite a lot of moves, people planning moves up at the top of the hills. It's very, very interesting, very early in the race. You'd think you'd be seeing that towards the latter end of the race, but earlier...
Oh, that was a good move.
Oh, a bit of an ambitious move there by Lurox 22. Did not work there. If we could possibly catch a replay of this one, Mr. Jarman Dallas. Anyway, we can catch a replay of that make mistake. He has. We've done that perfectly. Well done, mate. But we can see there, Lurox 2022 just went a little bit too hot there and just cooked the brakes and just went himself a little bit too deep. So unfortunately for Lurox 22, picks himself up a penalty and also drops himself back down into 5th position.
Now he's come under attack from Deadpool heading into the chase. So it looks like Deadpool's decided against it. Set himself up for a move into here.
He's sending it down into the chase. Is he going to pull that up? Oh, he has done perfectly, but Lurox is going...
Oh no, he's pushed Lurox a bit wide.
Oh, it's a bit of a... Oh, and Lurox has gone wide. If we catch a replay of that, he's actually made himself a big mistake. Pushed too far into that grass there. And here we go. He's going side by side, and he's just gotten pushed a little bit. He's just run out of room there, so that's a bit of a racing incident there. No one's fault. It's just a little bit too ambitious there, Lurox 22. But you know, it's still early days, lap 5, and it's just behind TCF Old Boy, and that looks like it's quite an old replica of a Mustang up there. Is that alright?
Yeah, I think that it looks like a replica livery of probably the I call it
the Dick Johnson
1999 to 2002 Dick Johnson racing cars.
Yeah, when they infamously won the Queensland 500 with Paul Radisich and Stevie Johnson there, so that was...
Yeah, while they were sitting in the sand trap.
Yeah,
I wonder if Dick would like to trade that win for Bathurst in '92.
Exactly, with the famous rock incident that happened there. All but TCF Old Boys just made a bit of a mistake there, just almost done himself he's almost actually done himself a Dick Johnson up there, so luckily enough he's kept it on the track. Lurox, is he going to make a move? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's thought better of it. I think he might set himself up for probably down Conrad Straight a bit more, but he's definitely turned into a very clumsy couple of laps here for Lurox. Definitely very uncharacteristic of him.
No, just hitting walls and just making mistakes and getting himself penalties. It's very uncharacteristic of him. But
although Dodge is a very tough car to drive, especially in a stock tune.
A big heavy V10, you know, with front engine, front drive car. As he's making a move on the inside, but it's definitely got more oomph than the Mustang, so he's definitely made that move very stick. So lovely move for the Rox 22. What have we got coming for you down into 7? So Deadpool 12 in 6th place. Wazadon looks like he's dropped down a few positions down into 5th place, so something's happened on his end. So Deadpool's looked like he's making a move into Hell Corner, and he's made that move very well. So great job, Deadpool. A little bit of biff and barge, but that's definitely clean.
Also looks like Deadpool's fixed those connection issues that plagued him at Laguna Seca. He certainly showed a lot of pace with his 1 lap speed, even set a couple of fastest laps, but I think the lag caused a bit of issues for him with probably some of the Australian competitors from the other side of the world of him probably unintentionally punting him off the track due to those network issues.
Well, especially for him, because he's definitely, the UK themselves, they are in Tier 4 lockdown, so everyone's been confined into their homes yet again for the third time with their more contagious wave of COVID-19. So hopefully for him and his family and everyone else in the UK, we all wish you the best, and we all hope you guys are safe and looking after yourself, looking after loved ones, and yeah, hopefully if there are some drivers in the UK that definitely have their time to spend indoors playing Gran Turismo Sport, it gives them a little bit of light, gives them a little bit of hope, I guess, just to forget about COVID-19 and just have a bit of fun at the same time.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, for those English competitors, it's a nice way to spend their Sunday morning, jumping on the PlayStation and having a bit of a race on Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
while we're at it, we should also give a shout out to our usual series commentator Adam Weller, who's from the UK, in case he's watching as well. Yeah, he
so
sort of had to deal with the lockdowns as well throughout last year, which gave him the opportunity to join us and stream and commentate on the touring car series.
Exactly right, and he managed to spend some time as well helping us out with the Bathurst 1000. So it's definitely a thanks to him, and finishing off those last rounds of season 2020 in the Porsche Cup and both SF19 Super Formula Championships. And he's actually done very well, so he's definitely helped us out, that's for sure. And to hear that, obviously the UK's back in one of their harshest lockdowns since COVID began in the UK. You know, we wish him, and obviously, as we said, everyone in the UK all the best, and just look after each other. So hopefully we can bring this virus down, and hopefully they can get back to normal. Especially for him, because he himself in real life is a real world commentator, so he's commentating duties have been put on hold.
Yes, yep, so that does affect his work as well. Although it's great to have him with us, I think we'd prefer that he's off doing the real world commentary and making some money for himself to live off
exactly right. That's very true. So as we're coming up towards, as we're on lap 7 of God knows how many laps on this stream, we've only got 26 minutes to go. We have Likely Wise Acar still leading the way ahead of Ando 787. Well, actually, that's not Ando 787 up
No,
there.
it's Disappointed's up in the second place.
So we haven't been keeping an eye on that. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like Ando 787 was overtaken by Disappointed in the Hyundai Genesis. So great showing for Disappointed, and like we said just before we about to cut off, just as I cut off before the race start, Disappointed, and he has brought a team into our series as well, being one of the 7th team to join our series. It is Pit Lane Esports. They have joined our Track Stars Racing Series event for the Touring Cars in SF19 Championships, where he and teammate Jakesy123 will be joining us for this First Division League Series, where they'll be repping the Pit Lane banner under the Lexus brand. So that's definitely exciting for those guys. They have definitely helped us and contributed to helping us our series, and whilst we help promote their series as well. So it's a nice little collaborations that we have going on between us and Pit Lane Esports.
And of course we should mention Kenty that operates Pit Lane Esports will also be helping us out with the stream of the main series races throughout the year.
Exactly right. I'm not so sure if Kenty's watching, but if you are, g'day mate. Hopefully we are putting on a great showing, and looks like your guy Disappointed is leading the way for you guys, and we hope to give you guys a little bit more time on the track in our series. So definitely one to keep an eye on, Pit Lane Esports for season 2021.
Looks like Deadpool made a little bit of a mistake there, and it's allowed for you to come through.
Yep, I do see that. I have seen that come through, so we can check a replay. Wazadon looks like he's coming ahead, but Deadpool, yep, he's just making through his corners, but I believe he's just going to overcook it in the braking. Yep, just lock the rears, and around she goes. But did a bit of a good save there. He didn't go full 360.
Yeah, he did
So-
very well to sort of recover that.
Yeah, he did. So he did a very good job there.
And
So
it looks
well
like
done.
he said he needs to disconnect, so I'm not sure if those issues are plaguing him again.
It could be a disconnecting, or it could be a bit of a rage quit. Who knows? You never know. We never know with drivers.
Yeah,
So,
although maybe he's coming up a bit laggy.
probably for some drivers, yeah.
So that might have been avoiding action.
That's fair enough. Yeah. But as we still see, likely-wise, what is the gap between likely-wise and disappointed?
It looks like it's up to 5.4 seconds, so
So 5.4. So it looks like disappointed might
it's
be
sort of
thinking about closing
yo-yoing back
that
and
gap.
forth between 5 and 5.5 seconds. So
Yeah, that's right. So you'll have to let me know with what the gaps are, because on the stream
it's
there's
sort of a bit hard to read them.
it's a little bit hard to read, but it's a little bit like buffering,
Yep.
buffers in a way. So that's all good. So just as we said, we're still fixing up little gremlins before we kick off season 2021 of Track Stars Racing Series, where we are actually beginning our first race on February 7th around Dragon Trail Seaside. So a fan favourite for everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good track to race on, and I mean, for myself, I've certainly had some good memories around that track, and I know you've
Yeah.
had some good races there as well.
Yeah, I've had some. Well, I haven't had too many. Well, my performances for Gridline, not Gridline, for Track Stars has been, been on and off on that track. So I definitely found some pace in the touring cars in the second race of the season, where I claimed the third position for the first race. But I made a fabulous move around the outside on that first lap to but what is this? We're actually getting some pit stops here, so disappointed. Looks like he's just thinking about making a bit of a pit stop here. Are we sure there's is there actually tyre wear on?
Yes,
for this
there's
game?
tyre wear on, but I didn't actually say that there was going to be mandatory pits, so
Okay.
maybe this might be a bit of a strategy here from Disappointed.
Yeah. So
I mean,
usually
it doesn't take too long to go through pit lane and get a new set of tyres, and he may be a bit of a mind game thing that he tries to get the undercut on Likely Wiseacre by spooking him into thinking he has to pit.
Exactly, but we see as well a few others as well. Lurox 22 and Coming For You looks like they made a pit stop as well. Little Blacko. Oh no, Little Blacko's in fourth. So
He still hasn't pitted yet, but he's certainly right on the or coming right up on the tail of Disappointed.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Maybe Likely Wise will be maybe a little bit be having second thoughts about that and thinking, you know what, maybe we could do a bit of a pit stop and just hit the gap and not reduce that down a little bit more. So who knows? Wait and see what happens. So we've got Ando 787 back up in second position after that pit stop from Disappointed. Little Blacko in fourth place. Who's that in fifth place? Is that still Wazadon in fifth?
Nah, it's
it's
coming for you. I think Wazadon pitted along with Lurox.
Oh right, that was Wazadon. Okay, so Lurox and Wazadon have pitted.
Looks like
So-
Coming For You's got a fresh set of tyres on as well, so
Oh,
not sure
so
what's
he's actually
happened there.
so has he played an undercut move on everyone? So that's very
Yeah.
smart of him.
Although Wazadon's tyres look worn, so maybe he's made a mistake somewhere.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. He's bashing walls here and left, right, and centre. So he's definitely probably made some mistakes there. So hopefully he might put himself a few new fresh set of boots and just get a bit of consistent running. And
Yeah,
just get
maybe take a quick breather during the pit stop and
yeah.
recompose himself.
Well, I'll definitely tell you what wasn't it. Who didn't have a quick breather was Justin 930 and Evil 177 in the Bathurst 1000. They managed to do themselves at least 100, 110, 115 laps straight, which was incredible. But so they definitely didn't have a breather.
Yeah,
in
that
race.
was a mammoth performance by those two.
I still
throughout the
don't
whole
know.
day.
I still don't know how they did it, but then you give credit to drivers that sit in front of a TV for so many hours, just begging for their teammates to say, "Come on, hurry up! I want to just get out of the car. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to have some food. I need some water." or something. But when the teammates don't show up, you just got to keep soldiering on, I
Yeah,
guess.
you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, we definitely. But with the field that we've got and the community that we had some last minute drivers come in and just say, "Yep, I'll give you a hand," and we definitely had some drivers helping out, which was definitely very nice. And almost for Justin 930, also almost got himself a podium out of it. So that would have been really remarkable for him.
Yeah, he was very much in the hunt. I think he was right on the tail of you at the end. I think it was.
I was Diswood one. It was right
Actually,
behind.
Diswood that was finishing the race. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was obviously my own team that was right behind as teammates. I think we actually did catch up to Justin, but I think right as we caught up, we overheated the tyres, so we actually couldn't mount a proper attack on him and Diswood, so that ended our podium charge.
Sorry to cut you off there.
All
Disappointed.
good.
Looks like he's making a move on 787. Endo. He's not going to make that, but he's got fresher tyres, so wondering if he's thinking Endo might make a bit of a pit stop here. Is he going towards the pit stop? No, he's not. So he's sticking himself out for another lap. So I wonder if this is a strategic move for Disappointed to get himself out of a good, comfy position to put on some fresh tyres, because it doesn't look like likely-wise is going to come in for a pit stop anytime soon.
I will say Endo is very
he's
gentleman-like through here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 chances he could have just kept drifting out wide and just shoved Disappointed off the track. But no, he's left plenty of room.
Yeah, but I believe now Disappointed's definitely going to make that move on the inside of Endo 787 with fresher tyres. Straight down the inside. Great move. Oh, but he's actually going to hold it around, but Disappointed looks like he's just caught a bit of the grass there. Are they going to go side by side before the cutting? No, they're not. So they've played smart. They've played very smart. So great job, great defending Ando. So definitely a bit of a battle there, but Disappointed looks like he's going for the tiniest gap in the world known to mankind. That was definitely no entry through there. Calm down.
That was probably the most Ayrton Senna move that you possibly could have made there.
Exactly. That was a bit of a very ambitious move there, but I believe they're just losing time. Likely-wise, 10.2 seconds between Likely and Ando. So whether Ando thinks about making a pit stop or not, it's up to him. But I could see he's actually on the soft tyres compared to Disappointed super soft.
So maybe he's trying to play the long game and avoid a pit stop, he's probably quite within his rights to defend for his life, because they are racing for position in the long run of things, although Disappointed's probably thinking, well, let me by and let me have a crack at Likely Wiseacre.
Yeah, exactly, but it looks like he's just about to make a move. Coming onto the inside, he's definitely got that straight line speed and slipstream effects on Ando, so it's a lovely move by Disappointed. Will Ando come back at him? I don't think so. I don't think he has the grip, because Disappointed will defend that inside, but it looks like Ando's just given up, thrown in the white flag and says, I'm going to come into the pit lane. So it's a great showing by Ando 787 with that defending, but he definitely needed to come in for the new tyres because he just couldn't hold Disappointed anymore.
Be interesting to see what compound he puts on here, whether he goes the softs, and he's gone the super softs this time, so we'll see what he can do in the last 15 minutes of this race.
So less than 15 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen, after this basically what we like to call our test stream fun event GT3 Cup. So hopefully our sound and our voices can be heard, and everyone and all our qualities is loud and clear and visible for everyone, so that way we can get our season 2021 underway with no faults around. A few little hiccups here and there on your side, Jarman, with all the replays, but that's all good.
Yep, I think I've got that covered now. Got to remember to press the Z button.
Exactly right. But it's looking good. You know, we've got ourselves a good starting platform for our season, and basically we plan to cover as much as we can, all the second division and our first division, and possibly even our Thursday series as well. If one of us isn't racing, we can definitely get some coverage and streaming for our Thursday night series as well. So do you want to run us through what we've got on Thursday nights, because it's the first for us at Track Stars?
Yeah, so Thursday night will see the introduction of what we'll call the Clubman Cup, which is a very useful blend of the name on one of the series that you see throughout the Gran Turismo franchise. And yeah, within the Clubman Cup we're going to have 3 different racing series. Probably the major one for the year will be the classic touring cars, which will see your Camaros, Mustangs, your Dodge Challengers as well, and maybe even a few minis here and there. So that'll follow the touring car schedule. Then we've got the Porsche Cup returning, but moving to a different night, and that'll follow the Formula Track Stars schedule, which will basically be a different country every time they race. And then the final one will be the Production Car Cup, which will actually follow the Endurance Series schedule, plus a few extra rounds here and there as we have special events. And then even a support race for the Bathurst 1000 that I think everyone will be very much looking forward to.
Oh, exactly right, because we have our Bathurst 1000, but we've also introduced, I think, another enduro event. I believe it's called the St. Croix C 1500, so that's definitely another one of the list that we have to get ourselves sorted out for and organised, and drivers getting themselves ready for a longer race on a longer track. But yeah, mentally it'll be interesting to see how we go around there.
Yeah, and that's very much flat layout, although disappointed, just ran wide coming over the skyline, just clipped the wall there, so
yep,
might be
done that.
Holding him up a bit, and probably lost a bit of time to likely wiseacre there. But yeah, the St. Croix 1500 certainly going to be a very challenging event, although I'd say the layout isn't quite as demanding as what the Mount Panorama circuit is, but
yeah,
I think the length
true.
of the race, and then this will probably stretch into a 6 or 7 hour race with the distance we're covering, that may take its toll on some of the drivers as we come across the day.
Yeah, exactly, so it's all about just getting our strategies, and I think the format that we had for our series for both the endurance racing and for our season-long category that we have in our Group 2s, which is our focal point here at Trackstars, our Group 2 machinery, GT500s, 2016 models. We have the Hyundai Raybrick NSX, where we will have at least 4 drivers driving the NSX this season, and then followed by the Nissan Motor GTR 2016 model, which will be fielding 6 drivers. And finally, we will have our Lexus RCF 2016 model, which will be fielded by 4 drivers. So, like we've mentioned earlier, we have with It's Racing Esports, RoboSport Motorsport, and Mashbuds Racing are the factory teams for their respective teams. So it'll be interesting to get some drivers working together, even like rivalry teams working together and helping each other out in a way.
Yeah, certainly be interesting to see. Well, there'll be a few teams that will sort of link up and help each other out, probably for the greater good of the manufacturer. There might be other teams that sort of develop a bit of a rivalry, like we saw with 888 and HRT in the early 2010s.
Yeah, that's true.
And they may not be quite as helpful to each other, but it'll all be interesting viewing, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe when it comes to Gen 3 next year, but we'll wait and see what happens and what goes on from there. We have 2 confirmed manufacturers for the Gen 3 supercars, with the returning of the Camaro, the Chevrolet Camaro, and we have our current Ford Mustang GT. So they definitely, one thing is for sure, they definitely look like the road cars you see on today's roads here in Australia, so, and in America or wherever you see them in the world. They definitely look like exactly the same as what we see on the roads. So no more silly top hats or high hats or stilts for the Mustang. It'll be a proper Mustang when we see it in 2022.
And hopefully, while they're at it, they cut a bit of that aero out so that it's a bit easier for cars to follow each other, and we can have a bit more exciting racing like we used to see.
Yeah, I think, and even with that, it looks like 2022 seems to be the launching platform for everything. So supercars, I believe, LMP1, I think, or the WEC series will be introducing there.
They're hypercars.
Hypercars. I don't know if that's 22 or 23.
Actually, I
I'm not 100% sure.
think the hypercars come in for this year,
Oh, okay.
but then
Yep.
they've got the what they call the LMDH is coming in as well. So, which is kind of a balance between the Daytona prototypes that we see in the IMSA series and
Yep. That's
then
definitely true.
allowing them to run at Le Mans alongside the hypercars.
Yeah, exactly. And then also we believe we've got the Formula E cars as well. They're getting their new Gen 4 cars or Gen 3 cars out as well. So definitely 2021 has been, we can definitely tell that 2021 has been a little bit of a hiccup for plans in motorsport, but you know, I think once everything settles down around the world with this COVID, and once teams and managers and series gets their stuff sorted out financially, 2022 is pretty much will be the relaunch of motorsport. Brand new cars, brand new rules, brand new regulations, and you know, hopefully some more exciting racing down the line. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I can't remember if you said it, but even Formula One's got new regulations as well for 22.
Well.
And I have a feeling the IndyCar might be doing something in the next year or two as well. Moving to a new chassis.
I'm not sure if I heard about that one, but that's
think
definitely interesting.
I think it's definitely going to accommodate that aero screen that they've got a lot more.
Yeah, I believe so. So as we cut back onto the racing, we've got less than 7 minutes to go. We have Likely Wise Acre, which that gap is actually closing down 8.5 seconds. I don't believe that's going to be enough. I'm disappointed. So I think that time he was behind Ando 787 just definitely hampered his
And
progress.
of course, those little mistakes there at the top of the mountain too that probably didn't help things either.
Yeah, that's right. So we are disappointed down in second, and Ando 787. What's the gap between them? So 6 seconds as well.
Yeah, 6 seconds between the two.
6.2 between Ando and coming for you is 14.5. So
Yep.
we can definitely see some drivers dropping off because it is kind of that time of the night where it is. It's probably 9:38 here on the eastern side of Australia. So probably people are just logging off and just probably getting ready for bed because most people will be getting back to work on the 4th of January, or some people could be on holidays and just sticking it out all night, who knows?
Yep, Lurox definitely had a very Jamie Whincup moment there going into the cutting.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't want to mention anything, so I thought, oh yeah, that's a Whincup moment he had. But yeah, no, it looks like we still have our 6 remaining drivers. So we do thank our drivers tonight for joining us and helping us as our commentators here, myself and It's Racing, just helping get this stream coverage sorted and get season 2021 underway, which I can't wait, which is only just a bit over a month, so...
Yeah, it's very, very close. I think some
and we
teams are going to have to get a move on with their liveries if they haven't done so already.
I can be the guilty one of that, so I do have I have a mock plan, but I haven't actually put it forward onto the car, so probably my mock plan is going to be rubbish and I'll have to start again.
I think you've already had a few sneak peeks of my Formula livery that was very much inspired by me putting YouTube on Friday night to go to sleep and waking up and seeing a bunch of kart races from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
So that'll be one that'll be interesting to come out very soon.
Yeah.
And I've had a quick look at CP Motorsports livery as well, and that's very striking, so
and
should be a few good ones to be released very soon.
And that is definitely the other team we have missed out on. I apologise. CP Motorsport is a brand new team that has joined us here at Trackstars. They have signed Huso brothers, the Huso 14 and XX Huso, who is our rating champ in the Trackstars Formula 2 series. So definitely they've picked themselves some great drivers, and hopefully definitely going to put on a good showing for us in season 2021.
Yes, that's for sure, and I mean, it's probably a win-win for both CP Motorsports and the Huso brothers, because the Husos get to drive around in some beautifully turned out race cars compared to the black plain ones that they usually race.
The black and white that they ran last season.
And then in return, CP Motorsports get two very handy drivers that can represent their brand very well throughout the whole season.
Yeah, so CP Motorsports is definitely a well-known racing brand in the track stars communities. They've got drivers in all sorts of leagues where they're very dominant. They're very dominant drivers that they have. So definitely adding the likes of XX Uso and D Huso in their ranks is definitely a bit of a privilege to be on that list. I think they've put themselves in a great spot.
Yeah, certainly be one to look out for.
Yeah, exactly right. So we've definitely got our 7 confirmed drivers, 7 confirmed teams. It's Racing Esports, RoboSport Racing, Mash Buds Racing, Shadon Racing, likely Waisaka and Wazadon. We have CP Motorsport with D Huso and XX Huso 16. We also have Pit Lane Esports. We have Disappointed, DJS X Appointed, and JC123. And I believe the other team, which I could be having a bit of a mental blank, it is EBM Motorsports.
Yes, so can't forget our major sponsor.
No, we do apologise EBM for putting in last, but I had a bit of a brain fade, so definitely one not to forget, EBM Motorsport with EBM, Brandos and Xiaomi 5. So 7 great teams. Looking forward to season 2021.
It certainly should be very competitive season.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to defending my title in the touring cars with some competitive drive, with some familiar faces as well as my teammate returning Putz. He'll definitely want redemption to get his pace up and fight for the team, fight for podiums and wins. So definitely want to keep an eye on. So every driver in the first division is to keep an eye on. So no one's in the dark horse, no one's an X Factor. They're very competitive.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. And I know, well, myself, I'm definitely looking to build on that last race at the French Grand Prix and maybe use that as a launching pad to compete for wins this season.
Yeah, exactly right. But I believe we are a minute 10, so we are about to approach the final lap of this GT3 Cup, where it is likely Waisaka driving up towards Mountain Straight. As we've got to see that gap's dropped down a fair bit, 5.6. So likely Waisaka wasn't phased with that early pit stop that Disappointed made. So he definitely has the pace, and he just says, "I'm just cruising the car around, saving the tyres, saving a little bit of fuel, and just having a bit of a great time. I'm going to take this win away from your hands, Disappointed." So
yeah, he's very much stuck to the plan here.
Yeah, so definitely, like we mentioned at the early broadcast, there's definitely one driver to keep an eye on. It is likely Waisaka. It is called the Shadon Racing. So he'll definitely be putting himself forwards for victories and podiums for season 2021 if he keeps that momentum from his Formula 2 days last year. So hopefully with all this aspect of tuning and learning about cars and racecraft and longer races and strategy, hopefully he can learn from that, and he'll definitely help him for the long run come towards maybe around that August-October season with the Endurance coming up.
Yeah, he'll certainly be one to look out for. Certainly be in the top 5, top 3, even challenging for wins. He'll be certainly in that conversation as he heads down Conrod Straight for the last time, heading towards the chase.
Towards the chase, it's likely Waisaka. He's definitely losing some time for Disappointed, but thankfully it's only one more corner to go and not another 100 more corners to go with more laps. So thankfully for likely Waisaka, the race is about to end on this final lap. So rounding that final corner at Murray's Corner, in that Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3, it is likely Waisaka taking the win in the GT3 Cup with DJX Appointed in second place in the Hyundai Genesis Group 3 car, also setting the fastest lap in that race as well, and also in third place Ando 787 in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage, for Gridline Racing, taking up that third place and podium position. With coming for you 194 representing Mash Buds Racing in the McLaren F1 GTR. It is coming for you in fourth place. Behind him, he's just managed to hold off Lurox 2022. Oh, sorry again, 2022. Lurox 22 in that Dodge Viper V10, and rounding up the final position. Oh, and he's just had a bit of an off, just to say, a bit of fun. I don't care.
Give us a bit more action to commentate on.
Come on, show us a replay. Yeah, you want to see that. As he comes down towards the chase, he just misses his braking points, locks the rears, and just slides on in. A beautiful drift onto the grass. That was great stuff.
Done it very well there.
He did a very good Dukes of Hazzard there, so well done. But it is likely wise Acre in that AMG taking the victory in the GT3 Cup. Nice in his Shade-On Racing outfit, in his Shade-On Racing racing tyre and helmet. It is likely wise Acre taking the victory, and definitely setting himself forwards for the season 2021. So definitely a great showing from everyone tonight. So we have said to them, we do thank them very much for joining in for tonight and this evening. We do hope they've enjoyed themselves, and basically it's something to look forward to in season 2021.
Yeah, I think definitely been a very enjoyable night for, especially with those MX-5s. There was a lot of close racing, and maybe not quite the close racing we saw in the first race for the GT3s at Bathurst, but I'm sure they would have very much enjoyed having the Bathurst track to fang around in.
Yeah, we had some good battles early on in those early stages. So it's definitely nothing too disappointing in those early laps. But as the race and phases go on, the gap just keeps spreading, and the more people just pulling away and doing their own strategy, doing their own race, it's all good. So I believe, like you said, the Mazda Cup was a little bit more exciting because it is equal power and equal machinery. These ones are Gran Turismo bop performance, so they've been heavily detuned compared to what we would normally do, compared to what we would normally run, which could be full power. But we just go with the GT specs, and it shows us some different types of racing. Some drivers might be faster on the straights, while others might be faster in the corners. It just has that good balance of performance in it.
Yep, that's definitely for sure.
Right, so I believe, as we're about to wrap up this stream, we do thank our drivers tonight for showing up tonight and having a great time, and congratulations to both Ando787 for winning the Mazda MX-5 State of Origin style Cup in the Mazda MX-5 touring car, and with likely wise A-car in the GT3 Cup, winning in his Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3 2016 model. So hopefully everything is all sorted out now. Hopefully our voices and the screens are clear, so we can't wait to get season 2021 underway. What are your final thoughts, Jarman, for this season coming ahead?
Yeah, it's certainly shaping up to be a very exciting series, and I think the team aspect is definitely going to be something to look forward to. And there's definitely a lot of individual drivers as well that will be looking to stake their claim and maybe take a few of those titles away from me this year.
Exactly. I'll definitely be looking forward to giving a good fight with some of the drivers, and some familiar names, and then some new and upcoming drivers to have a bit of a battle with. So that is something I definitely look forward to. But as we said, anyone's up for the title. Is all they're going to do is just overtake me, and that's it.
Yep, that's definitely right.
That's all good. So as we wrap up tonight, on behalf of myself and Spud P666 and Yarman Dell, it's racing. We wish you guys to stay safe, look after each other, and we hope for you guys to join us for season 2021 for the Track Stars Racing Series, sponsored by EBM, Elite Braking and Mechanical Service. So on behalf of us, we wish you guys a wonderful evening, good morning, or good afternoon.